Right. So 20 minutes of mobility. So we'll start with the mat. We'll start in a kneeling position. You don't need a yoga block for this. But if your mat isn't thick like mine, you can put a yoga block under that knee if you want to, okay? So what we're going to do is we'll do hip flexor release, one set each side, and then we're going to change it slightly, okay? So on the back foot, you're onto your toes like that, okay? So we're not going to do the thoracic rotations. We're just going to go forwards and back for 10 on each side. Good. When you've done 10, switch sides. You're moving directly forwards. Good. Stretching out the hip flexors on the back leg. Two more. You then switch back sides again. Okay, so this time you're going to go forwards, directly forwards, then you bring the foot in a bit, then you go out at an angle, bring the foot in a bit, out further, bring the foot in, and then you go directly to the side and you come back. Again, we're going to repeat that. Let's do it 3 times in total. So we'll do 3 times from now. So forwards, foot back in, at an angle, foot back in, a bit further, foot back in, and then directly to the side. Okay, then let's go again. So we do 4 in total. One more time, and then we'll change sides. And relax. I'm going to double this mat because this is not as soft as the one I use inside, not in the house. All right, that's better. Okay, right, directly forwards. Bring the foot in, out, bring the foot in. And I'm going to have to move this stuff. You guys keep going. Do 3 times in total. And relax. Okay, coming back to the center. Switch sides again. Right, sorry. This way. Right, you're going to put one hand onto the floor. Okay, and just very gently, I mean, don't press it much at all, just with kind of like 1 finger or 2, very gently, just press the knee to the side, but your foot must stay fully in contact with the ground, so you're not rolling over onto the outside of your foot. Just gently move into external hip rotation 10 times. Keep the big toe down. And just see how much movement you've got. You're not forcing anything at all, just really gently, just guiding that knee to the side. You can do it without, you don't need the hand. Do 10 and then switch sides and see what your range of movement is like on this side compared. So mine's definitely more restricted on this side, which I know anyway. It's a work in progress. Okay, go again. This time don't use your hand to guide the knee. Now you know the movement. Out and in. 10 times. Change. So we're going to do a few exercises to work on external hip rotation today, but I just want you to see how you differ side to side. Yeah, relax. Okay, right. You need to go against the wall for this. I'm going to, so I don't have to move the camera, I'm just going to use a chair. I don't want you guys to use a chair, I want you to use the wall, but it's just so I don't have to move everything around, that's all. Right, so your feet are going to go against the wall. Hopefully the chair's not going to move too much. Okay, and the feet are fairly close. They're parallel to each other, like this, okay? The knees are at 90 degrees, so the chair, I'm going to have to come down a bit from the chair, okay? But your hip width apart, so you're not really wide, hip width apart, okay? So imagine my knees are at 90. Arms are by the side, head is down. So you're going to bring the knees together slowly, then you're going to roll onto the outside of your feet, and then you're going to come back in again, okay? And we repeat that movement for 4 minutes. Ready? Let's go. Now, what I want you to be really careful about is that your heels don't start to move in, that you start to rotate at the ankle rather than the hip. So if you can keep an eye on your feet being parallel to each other, and then you know that the rotation is truly coming from the hips. Just relax the upper body. And don't rush this movement. So we're working on external hip rotation here. So in this movement, I can feel that the right hip is tighter than the left, just like we showed in that first exercise. But we're not forcing into range, just nice and steady. Really slowly. Just make sure that your pelvis is dead central, so you're not rotated or rocking one side compared to the other. So make sure you're right in the middle. This is actually much nicer than when I do it against this brick wall, so I'm glad I decided to do this today. That's much softer. Can you feel a difference between left and right, or do they feel the same? We're over halfway now. We do have to do these for quite a while. That's why it's 4 minutes to try and create change. Because if we just do this 10 times, like once a week or something, or even twice a week, it's not really going to create much change. That's why in the mobility program that I do, the 3-month mobility program, we do this every day for a week for 4 minutes. And that's the only way really you're going to create long lasting change, is to do these things regularly. If you're trying to get rid of imbalances and tightnesses and compensations. Nice and slowly. Okay, we're into our final minute now. I feel my right hip now starting to loosen off a little bit, which is good. Doesn't always, so don't worry if yours isn't. It doesn't always happen at all, but it is today, which is good. Maybe it's finally thinks she really wants this hip to open up. Let's just bloody open up. Maybe they're sick of me doing these exercises. 30 seconds to go. Final 10 seconds. Let's do one more for luck. Yeah, well, that's come back in. Okay. Right, we're going to come onto our feet now. Again, we need a small resistance band, and we're just going to work on our ankles. So you put the band around your feet just below your little toes, okay? And then let's move that right out of the way. Go wide enough so that you've got tension on the band, okay? And what we're going to do is start with the left foot. We're going to externally rotate the foot and come back in. So lift the toes, rotate, come back in. Now make sure you don't twist your pelvis, twist your hips. We want the movement to come from the ankle, okay? Do 10 on the left and then do 10 on the right for me. Don't rush it. So lift the toes, rotate, plant the toes, come back. Good. You might also feel your glutes kicking as well because the glutes are working. Because although you're not twisting your hips, you're still rotating your hips. And one of the muscles responsible for external hip rotation are your glutes. Don't rush it. When you've done 10 on each side, we're then going to roll out onto the outside of our feet for 10. Make sure you're doing this barefoot or with socks on, not with shoes on. Again, don't rush this, take your time. Good. And then when we've done that 10 times, stay on the outside of your feet. You're going to walk forwards 5 times and back 5 times. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back. And then bring the feet together. And we're going to repeat the whole thing, okay? So this time let's start with our right foot, hands on your hips, so you can make sure they stay facing forwards. Let's rotate the right foot 10 times. And then the left when you've done that. A little bit harder on my left than my right. And then we roll out for 10 when you've done that. And then walk for 5. And relax the feet down. We've got one more set, so let's rotate with whichever side you fit. If there was a difference between sides, start with your weaker side, okay, this time, this last set. We tend to rush the side that feels either restricted or weaker, so make sure you control the speed. And then roll out to the outside, last time for 10. And then walking forwards. Yeah, relax. Okay, then you can take the band off. All right, you need your mat again. We're down to the ground. You need your yoga strap. We're going to work on your hamstrings. So in a seated position, put the yoga strap around your right foot for me. Okay, and then we're going to lie back. Bring the foot into the air like this. Keep the legs straight, okay? And then all you're going to do is take the leg down and all the way up. Again, not forcing the range of movement. Do that 10 times for me. Just nice and slowly. And you've done 10, come to the top position. Again, I want you to wrap your band around your wrist and then grab the yoga strap, and then we're going to go back into the same position, and this time you're going to hold for 2 minutes, okay? So your arm is nice and long and strong. Because you've wrapped your arm around the band, you can relax the arm a little bit. You don't have to work quite as hard. The idea is to relax into a stretch. We're going to hold this for 2 minutes. Your head and back are flat onto the floor. Try and relax into it. So your legs should be at a 90-degree angle or more. If they're not, you can put a yoga block underneath your butt, okay, and that will help you get the leg a bit closer towards your body if you need that help. So I want you to focus with your breath work. I want you to breathe in through the nose for 4 and breathe out through the mouth for 8. I'm going to count you in. So let's inhale through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the mouth, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going for me. We've got 30 seconds left. That will help relax your body and sends a message to your body that we're okay here. We can relax into this stretch. And the idea then is that everything relaxes. You can take that stretch just a touch further. We've got 10 more seconds. And relax. Okay, come up to a sitting position. It doesn't matter if you can't go further into the stretch, but you're just teaching your body just to relax into that position, that it's okay. Right, so we've got our 10 lifts. So take the foot all the way down to the ground on this side on the left and all the way up. Again, we're not forcing the movement. Gently. You feel a difference between sides? I'm a little bit tighter on this side. And then come up to that seated position. Let's just reset my stopwatch. Again, then wrap the back strap around your wrist. Okay, or your hand. Okay, you ready? Let's go down into position, bring the leg up, and we'll start the timer now. Okay. If you were to look at the position of my legs, it doesn't really look much difference between left and right, but I know that it feels a bit tight on this side. So we're always trying to even out imbalances. That's the goal of everything, but we don't want to force it. So don't just jam the leg a little bit further just so they look the same. Just find that natural end of range and then use your breath work to relax into it. So inhale for 4 through the nose, exhale for 8 through the mouth. Relax into it. We never want the intensity to go above a 7 out of 10. That's the maximum we're aiming for. So it should focus you a 7 out of 10. So you need to use a breath work to relax into it, but it shouldn't be like, oh my God, I need this to be over. It shouldn't be like that. One more minute left here. Last 30 seconds. Okay, slowly bring the strap up and sit up. Okay, then for our last stretch, we're going to do active frog, which again works on external rotation of the hips, which is today's theme. Okay, so I want you to lie back, bring your feet together so your big toe and your heels are touching and your knees together. Okay, and then your arms are at your side, your head is down. I'm going to start the timer now. So all you're going to do is roll out onto the outside of your feet slowly and then come back up, and that's it. And we just keep repeating that for 2 minutes for our final exercise. This is called active frog. So again, we're working on external rotation of the hips. But what you'll also notice with this is as you take the legs out, the lower back arches. As you bring the legs together, the lower back flattens. It's very subtle, but what we're doing is moving the pelvis forwards and backwards along the horizontal axis. So we're not rotating side to side. We're just moving forwards and backwards. It's very subtle and you don't need to think about that. It just naturally happens. Nice and slowly. That's 45 seconds. Last 20 seconds. And relax. Good work. Okay, that's it for today. So big focus on external hip rotation and the ankles a little bit as well. And hamstrings. Thanks very much. See you later. Have a good day.